guy, you can stand up here.
Geno, what's the thing you're going to take most out of Robbie Griffin's performance tonight, and what do you want her to sustain going forward?
Well, I mean, every day in practice she's getting a little better. You know, she's starting to figure things out a little more, feeling a little more comfortable. And in the meantime, it's been more just focus on what you're good at. You know, and today's game was about rebounding at both ends of the floor. And she made some unbelievable plays. And she's a unique kind of player. You know, she's very different than anybody we had. She's kind of different than anybody we've had in a long, long time. So, where does she go from here? And I don't know that we're going to get 25 or 12 every night, but I feel really, really good moving forward, knowing that she's on the team.
Geno, having Olivia gives you, at those opportunities, a legit shot blocker, the way you had with Azure, obviously the way you had when Stewie was playing at the defensive end at the time. How much does it change, and in what ways does it change what you're doing defensively when you've got Olivia, and specifically her shot blocking opportunities?
Well, and we can take more chances. We don't have to play as passive defensively. If we can get Liv to ratchet up her intensity level, you know, and her energy level, we'll be able to do even more of that. You know, right now, every time we get aggressive, she fouls. So we have to be careful what we do. Tonight, it didn't hurt us as much because Aubrey came in and filled that role, but against some really big teams, that might be a problem. So as she starts to become more energetic and more, you know, higher intensity level, we can extend our defense a little more and not feel so bad if we get beat. You know, somebody goes by us, not feel so bad. We're limited defensively in how many things we can do. That's why they got so many threes on us today. You know, so we're gonna have to give up something most nights. And they shot the hell out of it tonight. They shot. How many did they make? How many did they make?
13.
13 for what?
34.
Damn. Teams don't usually make that many against us. You know? They used to make a lot when we had Steffi Dolson, Stewie, Kia Stokes. They used to make a lot of threes against us. Because every time they threw it in the lane, their shot got blocked. Now they make them because we don't guard them. That's a big difference.
Do you have an update on Crystal?
Yeah. Things look really, really good. We're confident. I'm fairly certain that she'll be practicing tomorrow and playing this week. But I'm going to give you 100% certain. But if you told me, is there a better chance that she's going to play or not play, I'll tell you she's not.
But having her rest today,
Yeah.
take it off.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can say it was worth it because the
Yeah.
win and everything, but
Yeah.
step in the right direction.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
getting her
Yeah.
rest.
She's going to be itching to go. You know, she wants to play. She wants to play really bad. I like what happened in her absence. You know, we were able to find some pieces that I didn't think we had. You know, Molly really handled herself well these last 2 games.
You know, you surprised at all with the pace of the game in the first quarter? Is that what you expected?
Well, I know that's what they want to do, you know, and if I was telling you, I would try to do the exact same thing, you know, trying to get into our bench, try to get our guys winded a little bit. But yeah, it really didn't surprise me how quickly they were playing and how fast they were scoring. They have a good team. They have a team that when they're shooting the ball well, they get a lot of confidence, and they feed off of that. You know, I'm sure if a lot of those didn't go in that first quarter, things would have been a different story. But you know, that's what happens when teams start knocking in a bunch of threes. I stopped one of their kids after the game when I was shaking her hand. I said, "She made a couple tonight." I said, "That's more than you made all season coming up here." What are you going to do? You know, when people, I think it's contagious, like baseball, man. Guys start hitting, everybody hits.
Geno, follow that up. You've coached against Tony a few times before. What can you say about his development with the freshman guards he has?
Well, I'm not happy to hear that they're freshmen. That's number one. That means we got to deal with that for the next 3 years. But you know, Tony coaches with a lot of passion. You know, he coaches with a lot of energy and a lot of intensity. And his kids play really, really hard, and they're skilled. You know, they're skilled, and they execute. I like their team. I like the way they play. It felt good being back in this gym. You know, it felt really good being back in this gym. Had some great memories of this place. I tried to. I want somebody to look this up, but when I was coaching at Virginia, I want to say it was either 1983, 84. Walsh Gymnasium was hosting the New Jersey Interscholastic Girls High School Basketball Tournament. And I came here to watch a game as a kid when we were recruiting and playing. Chris Daly swears that it wasn't here. But I know it was here. It had to be here. Had to be. I remember sitting in those seats. They haven't changed. The colors haven't changed. The location hasn't changed. You know? So, you know, that was my first time ever in this gym back then, 1983. And since that day, you know, there's been a lot of great memories here. I asked our players, I saw the most famous person ever play in this gym played in that high school game. And they couldn't guess who it was. But you wouldn't guess who it was. Unless you were here, and unless you were at that building, unless you were following girls basketball back then, you wouldn't guess who it is. But a kid we were recruiting named Tammy Irving from Irvington High School. Hell of a player. And their coach was Vinny Smith.
Yeah.
Okay? You remember Vinny?
A good friend of mine.
Yeah. And Tammy was a hell of a player. She was like the Maya Moore of her day, you know. That son of a gun could play, man. Everybody in America wanted her. You know, so I came up to watch the game, and I was sitting with Bob Bradley, the U.S. World Cup coach, right? Who grew up in this area. And we're watching the game, and whew, yeah, Dana Owens.
Yep, that's where I know you're going.
Yeah, and then there was a kid on Irvington's team named Dana Owens. And I watched the game, and a full-scale brawl broke out at the end of the game between these two high school teams. Punching and kicking and grabbing and tackling. I mean, it was full scale, like all out. And well, it got better. Cheerleaders from both teams came out, and they squared off against each other. And then it just was a melee. And I sat all the way up top and I watched it. And when Dana Owens became famous, I remember hearing from her in 1995, now it's 83, 93. Okay, it's 12 years later, and we win our first national championship. And I get a box of Dom Perignon champagne. And I open it up, and it's signed, Coach, really proud of you, blah, blah, blah. Signed, Queen Latifah. Interesting. Great story. I tell people they don't believe it. Okay. First thing they want to know, was she any good? What difference does it make? What difference does it make, right? So yeah, you know, she could have been a WNBA player if she stayed, you know, if they had a WNBA player. she ended up going to LA, became a trainer with Tammy, and spent all that time out there, and stumbled into this gig. So that was my first time in this gym. And start off with a bang. I love coming. We won our first Big East championship here. We won a Big East championship here in '95 when we won a national championship. We've had some great games here. Had some great games here. I love this building. I love the atmosphere.
Gino, what was it that Molly gave to you today?
Heartburn. You know, Molly makes a jump shot. She like feels really comfortable making a jump shot. And I think she made two. She made two jump shots. She made a layup. Okay. She kept it simple. Pass, pass. And then she loses her mind and wants to drive in, and you know, she thinks she's Mariah Jefferson, and then turns around and throws it back behind her to the guy on the other team. Then another time, we're running back on defense. She's got number 5. The kid has made 9 threes already, whatever. And we're running back on defense, and she runs to the opposite side of the floor to go guard a kid that's already guarded. And the kid gets a 3. So yeah, what does Molly give me? Incredible heartburn.
You know,
At the same time, nobody deserves it more to be able to play meaningful minutes in a meaningful game as a senior at UConn. It means more to her and Kyler than anyone will ever know, to be able to play meaningful minutes in big games on the road their senior year at Connecticut without having played much at all as the previous 3 years. Right now, that, you know, Molly's probably the happiest person in Connecticut. No doubt about it. Nobody works harder than her, and she deserves it. I'm really, really proud of her. If I can keep her calm, if I can keep her doing, you know, just come in and fill in, you know, backup quarterback. Just hand it off. Hand it off, throw a little 5-yard slant, you know? Take a snap, throw a little pitch out, get out of the way. She wants to scramble and think like I'm going to on Aaron Rodgers. See, now I feel worse than it already.
Do you feel like Aubrey can sustain, I mean, obviously you said she's not going to be a 25 and 12
No.
all the time, but can she sustain some focus and a high level of play?
You're going to see this a lot in her career. And you're going to see it often. I don't know if she's ready to do it right now, but this was just like, you're going to see this a lot. That kid's capable of doing things that very few kids can. She has a knack for the ball. You know? Kid's unique, man. You know? She's something else.
Gina, what does it say about Megan that you haven't talked about her yet she had 29 points and maybe the biggest 3-point play of the game when it got down to 7. And is there even more comfort level that you start to know what she will give you?
Yeah. She had 3 offensive rebounds tonight, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
How many games have we played?
7.
7? Today was number 7? She had a total of 2 in the previous 6. And she had 3 tonight. So, again, you know, you look at tonight and you go, this is what could be. This is what could be. It had to happen at some point so that they could see this is what could happen. If you apply yourself, this is what could happen. I said to Megan, Meg, that's how you score a lot of points. Not as a jump shooter, but as a jump shooter, as a driver, as a rebounder, at the free throw line. That's how you score a lot of points. And she's big and strong, you know? And today she used pretty much, and she missed about 3 or 4 that you gotta make down the road. You gotta make those. So she could have 35. But yeah, tonight Meg played like she's played like an All-American since the season started. I mean, you think about this season, what our record would be if she hasn't played the way she's played.
you seen her step up leadership-wise with Crystal? You know, you're really generally your only senior with a
Yeah.
lot of experience. Have you seen, besides just the scoring and the rebounding,
Yeah.
her step up in that? like,
No, yeah, she's
leadership
been the
role?
one. She's been the one. She's the one that gets everybody huddled up. She's the one talking on the bench. You know, she's the one that's getting everybody going. And, you know, when we get to shoot around, when we're practicing, yeah, she's taking that on herself. And I think whenever somebody does that, it also puts a lot of pressure on you that now you've got to be better, because you can't be a leader if what you're doing is questionable.
You know, a couple of weeks ago on Temple, you were liking this group as a jazz ensemble.
Yeah.
How do you like the music tonight?
There are times, when it looks really, really, really good. Looks good, sounds good, feels good. You know, if you think back to where we were the first 2 or 3 games of the season to where we are today, it's like night and day. You know, as these guys all get better individually, you know, as they all get better individually, we're going to get better as a team. Yesterday we had a really good practice, one of the better practices that we've had, and it carried over. You know, this team's pretty much emblematic of most teams around the country today. They don't like to practice. I was talking to Tony before the game. He said our practices are like an hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half, because after about that long, guys just go, "I'm done." You know, the way the NCAA is now, you know, they might as well be at the Teamsters and Steelworkers Union. I'm done. And when they're done, they're done. There's nothing you can do about it. I know, I was in the Steelworkers Union, I know. When you go, "I'm done," you're done. That's it, no more. That's all you get. And, you know, yesterday was a really good practice. You know, they really got a lot done. It was really good. It was really good.
Question we were talking about. You've had a #1 overall defense with elite shot blockers, and you've managed to do it without. And I just wonder how much easier it is with an elite shot blocker, and does that play a part in your thinking as far as her development goes?
Yeah, I mean, the more she develops, the better our defense is going to get. You know, playing defense is a function of knowing where to be and when to be there. And when you have a lot of young players, you know, if you look at our team, we had 2 sophomores in the start lineup. Okay, we had 2 sophomores coming off the bench that played huge minutes. Okay? And the only senior on our starting lineup wasn't there. So we're going to give up a lot of points. We're going to make a lot of mistakes, no question about it. And as we get better, as the season goes on, there'll be more opportunities for us to tighten it up a little bit and get after people a little more. And we'll know that Liz back there doing the right thing. That's the next step for her. You know, playing 40 minutes of consistent defensive basketball like that. 40 minutes of it. And she's had a tendency to get in foul trouble. You know, and some of them are just not very smart fouls. Some are, it's okay. You know, you try to go block a shot, you whack a guy, okay. But some, you know, like coming over the top, you know, or, you know, when you can't get a block and you go there anyway. Things like that. So as she gets better, our defense is going to be better. And as our defense gets better, our offense will get better because we'll get more transition baskets.